Mary Jo's Barrel of Crafts. This is my first video, so thank you. And the topic on this video I'm really excited about. I'm going to call it Top 10. Well, it's not even really the top 10. It's 10 cool tools. And we'll get started on that in just a second. But I want to tell you just a little bit about me. I've been a crafter for years. I live in a tiny house, so I have a small area to craft. I do have my own craft room, but I'm also what I call a portable crafter. I do crafts and tools and everything that I can take with me easily. And that's some of the things I'll be showing you today. I would like to take a minute to give a great shout out and thank you to Young at Heart Paper Crafting in Astoria, Oregon. The owner of the store is Cindy Young, and she has graciously let me do the videotaping here. So thank you, Cindy. And as you can see, part of it, it's a great store. This is my second home, my home away from home. Let's see, there will be the links in the description of all the tools that I'll be showing you today. I think that might be it. I also want to give a shout out and a thank you to Erica and Jesse, who have helped me make this video. Thank you so much. It's been so fun. So I say at this point, I think I've covered everything for the intro. Let's get started. I'm thinking probably almost everybody's got bone folders in their bags, because how can you live without them? They make creases on paper nice and clean. But let me tell you and show you my favorite bone folder. It's a pot scrubber. You get them like at Walmart, Fred Meyer's, all your local stores. And let me show you why I like this one. This one's got a nice wide edge. And so even if I don't know if the crease is exactly, I can kind of walk over to it and it's flattening the paper as I'm creasing it. So for me, this helps me make sure that I'm lining up correctly. The other thing that's really neat about this one is if you have an edge, and you know if you're trying to fold an edge and it's really close, sometimes these are pretty thick and it's hard to get that. All I have to do with this is fold it up like it's a little ruler type thing. And then when I get that done, it just makes the creasing really easy. Now, don't get me wrong, I still use this one a lot because when you're doing in curves or corners or making boxes, these type are great because they've got the little pointer. But my main go-to, and the one that I use most of the time, is my little kitchen pot scrubber. Now, this is a really what I call extra cool tool. This is actually called the Creative Detailer, and it's made by Couture Creations. And it was actually designed so that when like foil a card and you get those little bits of foil kind of splattered, that you just erase it. This is actually a battery-operated eraser, and it is the coolest thing. But I have found that it does a lot of other neat things that I use it for. For example, when you've got your little white cardstock and you notice a little spot on there, you just take it with a really light touch and erase, and it doesn't leave marks. It just does it nice and clear. It's easy to use. I mean, it's just amazing what it does. And one of the other things I found is if you do the diamond dots, which almost all of us do, is the little gunky sticky stuff around the edge. You can use this and it actually takes that gunk off. The other thing, the other day I was playing around, and this is like my oxide inks, and I was thinking, you know, sometimes I splatter and it's too dark or it's too big, so I was playing around with this, and you can actually use this eraser to lighten up spots. And this is one that I did like 3 days ago, so it's even after the fact. Again, you can, this is the Creative Detailer, and you do have to kind of look for this one because it's not in every store that you see, but it also comes with refills, replacement parts, and again, like I say, it's battery operated, and I have used this thing like crazy, and the batteries are still good. One of the things I really like, especially when you're going to be mailing a lot of your stuff, is flat embellishment and bling. And I love this and carry this with me all the time. It's made by Star Form, and this one especially is the transparent glitter sticker. And it comes with silver surround, and it also comes with the gold surround. And the really cool thing about using this one, it's one for everything. This is a sample where I've put it on white, black, or purple, black, and white, and you can see that it shines that color. So if I have this one sheet, I can use this for pretty much all of my embellishments on every card I make. One of the other things I really like to put on my cards and stuff, and again keep it flat so it's easy for mailing, is glitter. And there's several ways and several brands. Here's a sample with the different brands. There's Wink of Stella, there's Spectrum, and there's Nouveau glitter. And basically what you do is just take your card, and wherever you have or want to put a little bling or sparkle, you just take one of these pins and you just brush it on. One of my favorite ones is the Nouveau brand. You shake it really good. Now when you first get it and it's new, there's going to be a little black band on there. And you go on and take the cap off, take the band off, and then shake it real good. And then basically all you need to do is take your, where you want to put the glitter, and just glitter on. And you can do 2 or 3 layers, and you definitely need to allow it to dry for just a little bit. But it's a great way of adding flat bling and sparkle to your products. So again, there's 3 brands that do the clear. They also make the sparkle glitter in colors. So Spectrum makes them in colors, and Nouveau makes them in color. So here's a sample of the ones I have. But I gotta be honest with you, the clear one is the one I use the most, because then I can put it on anything. And I travel light and small, and one's good enough for me. These are great if you're working on a big project. I'm just going to take a minute and explain one of my other favorite tools, and that's, I don't know, I call them poker, sticky things, picker-upper things. They all have official titles, and I will share those with you. But this is another one of my favorite tools, because when you're working crafts or making cards, we all have those little tiny embellishment things that, if you have fat, non-nail fingers like I do, are pretty hard to sit there to hold and glue and put on your project. So they come up with these. There's one that's called a jewel picker, and this is kind of cool because it's got a thicker end and a smaller end, and it's sticky on both ends, and it just helps you pick up your products. Here's a different idea, a different style. It's called the quick stick, and it's got kind of a little pointy thing so you can help move things around once they're on your project, and then it's got a sticky end which helps you pick up the things. Of course, I'm always looking for the new stuff, and I'm always trying everything there is. So this is my current new favorite, and this is by Studio Katia, and she calls it her embellishment wand. Now the neat thing about this tool is you just, when your sticky runs out, you take off the cap. There's a replacement cap. You put it back on, and so you have a tool for a very long time, for as long as you want it. And it also comes in a case to keep it sticky when it's not in use. Let me just show you kind of what all of these things do and why I tend to use this one a lot. It picks up your little beads, and then you can either put a dab of glue on it, put a dab of glue on your paper, and stick it down, and then the glue will hold it just a bit, and then what you do is you take this end and position it in the perfect spot. And it does everything. It does beads, which have a little bit of weight to them. It will do sequins. It will do little glitter things and doesn't take the glitter away. And it also does little pieces of papers, you know, like when you punch out the little eyeballs and noses and stuff like that. So it's a really good universal tool. And I really suggest that everybody has something, one of these types. But right now, this week, I love this one.